Alright, a match that actually kind of matters this week. LogiSwords fending off Blazing Magi. Of course, Moldy Milker's not even in that conversation, but if we look at the standings here, LogiSwords have a chance, albeit a slim one. If they lose one map today, and Blazing Magi do not lose a map today, they will be tied for first. So oh, no, 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 no. That's not how that works. LogiSwords would have to lose this one. So I think LogiSwords, while it is technically possible that Blazing Magi do catch LogiSwords, it is very unlikely as they would have to pretty much drop. They'd have to drop a map in this series, and then next series they'd have to lose to Blazing Magi by a very convincing margin. So, LogiSwords looking to secure their spot. If they win all three maps in a row, that conversation doesn't even need to happen. No matter what happens between Blazing Magi and LogiSwords this week will not matter. Blazing Magi will not be able to steal the first seed from LogiSwords. However, it is a very tight race, so we'll see. Blazing Magi are facing off against Microfish. So Microfish are going to have to be the team to help LogiSwords knock them off a bit. Of course, both these teams are guaranteed playoff spot. Both Blazing Magi and Microfish, or not Microfish, and LogiSwords are guaranteed to be in that final playoff. Going to see the Roadhog from Moldy Milkers here. On the other side, we are going to see the Reaper coming in. So a Reaper mirror here. Some more damage for this LogiSword squad. Has been an excellent team this season. Only facing a couple losses. I think one to Rush Hour, one to Blazing Magi. So, Blazing Magi getting the job done against LogiSwords. I believe we beat them anyways. I could be completely wrong. I think we were the other team that beat them. Yeah, I think so. Anyways, here comes the Hog. Can Moldy Milkers make something of their losing season here? Roadhog gonna go down. Doesn't look great at all so far. Sim Turret's putting in some work though. Not quite enough though. Reaper gonna be able to remove one, but that's just not gonna be it. So Moldy Milkers gonna go down in this first fight very quickly. Does look like we might witness another 3-0 here, to be honest here, guys. Just not feeling it. And like I said, if LogiSwords 3-0s this, they don't even need to worry about Blazing Magi stealing their number 1 seed. They will secure themselves as the number 1 seed for Never Back Down division. And it looks like they have come in here with a mission. They are trying to accomplish that. Of course, Moldy Milkers have no real stake in this game. If anything, they want to lose 3-0 so they can get a better draft pick next season. And yeah, that's pretty much it, chat. Oh, wait, Reaper v Reaper. The fake Reaper is winning, though. Oh, wait. Oh. Doesn't quite do enough damage there to secure it. Oh, the Queen's coming. Oh, nope, they're going to back off last second here. So, LogiSword just barely fending off with that Reaper bot. Reaper v Reaper on point. Quite an entertaining exchange here. However, now LogiSwords are at full strength. And yeah. Hanzo going to be able to remove one, but man, that's just so unfortunate here for the side of Moldy Milkers. So close to taking that point, just not able to do. Reaper does go in and get some revenge there. But man, it just doesn't matter too much here. Imagine we're going to see this site being popped soon. And yeah, that is LogiSwords just absolutely dispatching a Moldy Milkers. Widow does remove one there, but man, this is just a sad showing here from Moldy Milkers. Unfortunately, not gonna be able to help Lazy Magi out too much if they don't take a map off LogiSwords. And it just doesn't look like it's gonna happen, man. Just absolute dominance here on this first map. Only possibility is a draw here for Moldy Milkers, but I don't even think they're gonna accomplish that. Going to head to this next round, and I believe LogiSword's probably just gonna win this. I think they can do it in one fight. Alright, one attack I think is all it's going to take here for LogiSwords. They do have Orisa, but I don't think that's going to be enough. And that will just be it. There we go. Widow gets 2. That's it. LogiSwords come and take it in one fight. Going to win map 1. Headed to map 2. Here we go. LogiSwords ever bit as dominant as we left them. This triple tank squad going to be the only triple tank squad in the playoffs. See if they can handle the pressure there. There's also a triple DPS squad in there. And 2 double support teams, so very different winners this time around. Very different top squads headed into the playoffs this season. Looks like LogiSwords only going to be 2 maps away from securing their spot as the #1 seed, securing their competition against Krusty Crushers in that first round. And you really don't want to play Rush Hour in that first round. Krusty Crushers looks a lot more like a tasty morsel for this LogiSword squad. Blazing Magi going to be in a rough spot in playoffs because they're going to be up against that Rush Hour squad to begin, and that's not where you want to be. It is double elimination, so even if you lose those first matches, you still get a loser's bracket and a possible bracket reset in grand finals, which could lead to an extremely long series, mind you. Going to be repping the Sigma here. Just probably going to make this blowout even worse. Sombra, I believe, is the only character not on a squad. So she's going to show up today. Which is funny because I feel like there's a lot worse bots than Sombra you could run. However, I think things like Sigma do have a place in Winston when you need a low tier that has some bulk to it. Alright, here we go. Brig just falls immediately. Sigma is doing so well. Okay, the trades here relatively even. Widow Widow just putting in so much work here, though. Widow picks off 5 members? Did she kill all 5? Did she get the final blow on all 5? She definitely got on 4. Alright, Widow. Pop off. She did, didn't she? She got all those final blows. That's ridiculous. Widow actually did so good there. This is why Widow is a dangerous enemy to have. She can just take your skull off your shoulders. Here comes Moldy Milkers for another fight here. Sigma going, wrapping all the way around here. He's going to pop that. Yeah, this is just over, man. Man, this is just curtains. They do remove that pesky Widow, but it was just not enough. LogiSwords looking as dominant as ever on the second map. Moldy Milkers looking as lost as ever. I assume both of these teams are going to look very different come next season. Moldy Milkers probably going to stray away from a lot of their roster, as most people do when they tend to have a season like this. However, I do like some pieces of the squad. I believe that Sim can be good in some rosters. Hanzo is a very good pickup too. I wouldn't exactly call them bad heroes, just maybe not on the greatest team together. And Brig, I think Brig is a pretty bad support, all things considered, but someone's got to be stuck with her. Okay, anyways, here comes Moldy Milkers. They're going to try to make something here. However, they're going to lose that Brig so fast. So going to go down, and that is it, pretty much. So, 100-0 here on this first point on Busan. Going to be a pretty clean 1-0 lead here on Busan. They just got to win one more point, secure this map. If they can do that, they will be putting them on match point. This could be another 3-0 to add to a long list of 3-0s this week. I believe the first 2 matches were 3-0s already, so this will be the third 3-0 of the week. Probably going to be another 3-0 after this. Actually, I don't know. Blazing Magi are a very topsy-turvy team. Microfish might be able to get some sort of advantage there and win a map or 2. Blazing Magi are very much a wild card squad. They play a lot of close games. They play close games with good teams and bad teams, so see how that goes. Oh my word, what is this camera work? LogiSwords coming in here against this Moldy Milker squad. It looks like the Sim turrets are setting up some decent spots. Doom going to actually be able to, first one to move one, and Moldy Milker is actually going to be able to take a point here, or at least starting cap. So I kind of missed that fight, but good work by Moldy Milkers. Going to take fight 1 here. Flipping the script on its head. Just for a little bit, maybe. See if Sim can lock this point down. This is a good point for Sim. If Moldy Milkers do win a fight, LogiSwords will be in a precarious situation where they can actually potentially lose their spot to Blazing Magi. Keep that in mind here as LogiSwords fights this. Gonna lose a couple members, but too little too late. Doesn't really seem to matter. Gonna have to just back out here, LogiSwords. Wait for the squad to regroup. It's just been so interesting here to see Moldy Milkers come out on top of these first 2 fights and giving themselves a shot in this series, maybe. LogiSwords, on the other hand, looking a little bit lost. Looks like the Zarya is kind of stuck, man. That might be what's helping them so much. Could be a huge boon here, having that Zarya stuck in spawn. Ooh. All things considered. Ooh, wait. It looks like they're going to be able to turn this because of that lack of Zarya. Her damage lacking from this fight just going to result in LogiSwords losing. So Zarya finally coming in now. Her bot might have fixed itself, but that is just... It might just be too little too late, man. Gave up a whole fight because of that. She's still sitting at only 24% Zarya's bot completely breaking here on the second point on Busan is really a massive boon for Moldy Milkers. As I thought this was going to be an easy 2-0 here, but now it's 1-1. More than likely. Queen is just so low. Yep, Queen and Orisa are going to go down. All that's left here is Zarya, who's been panicking through this whole map. Hasn't really done anything. Going to be 100-0 for Moldy Milkers. They have themselves a chance on Busan. They could steal a map here from LogiSwords and maybe start something. As the coach of Blazing Magi, I'm very glad this happened. I promise I'm not rigging anything. Ashe swap up, so we're gonna go double sniper here. Could be disgusting from the side of wow, that could actually be disgusting from the side of LogiSwords. Could result in some very quick picks. We'll see though. LogiSwords really struggling on the last map. Zarya, her bot kind of bugged out. Had trouble getting into fights there. Gonna stick on this Doom. It's been working for them so far. They are gonna go down. It looks like both teams are going down. Looks like LogiSwords are gonna get here first. Doom, kind of slow on the rip here. He is going to get absolutely pummeled by LogiSwords. Is gonna go down for it. Zarya gonna be traded out, but I think that's just too late, man. Health bars are very much gonna favor the squad with 3 tanks after your tank falls, especially. Alright, LogiSwords back in control here. Moldy Milkers, they need to come up with something big. They want to win this map, have a chance in the series. Give Blazing Magi an opening to making playoffs in season, making, oh my word, I can't speak. Making the first seed. Man, it just looks like Moldy Milkers can't quite put anything together here. LogiSwords gonna go, more than likely gonna go up 2-0 in this series. So despite that second point on Busan, where Moldy Milkers were able to take it, but man, it's just their team is just not good enough. Not good enough to hang here with this LogiSword squad. They are a triple DPS team, yes, but they just don't have strong enough DPS to warrant the triple DPS look. Unfortunately for them. Alright, here we go. Doom gonna go in deep. Gonna get himself punished once more. Gonna leave his team without a tank. And that's just gonna be a very quick fight here, so looks like the 2-0 is coming through here for LogiSwords at last. Second point, just a fluke with that Zarya panicking. Speaking of Zarya, they are going to swap to the Zarya pick here. Here we go. Both bubbles absolutely bursted through. And that is just going to be it. LogiSwords going to go up 2-0 in this series. Looking for a 3-0 to clinch their #1 seed and make Blazing Magi's matches pretty much useless through the rest of the week, and LogiSword's match pretty useless. So they are looking to make it so the rest of the season does not matter for any playoff implications. These last matches after this one are going to be ultimately purposeless. This is the last meaningful match, and it's only for seeding, not even like taking a team out of playoffs or anything. Seeding is not as strong as it is in some leagues because there are no buys. Alrighty, here we go. Circuit Royale. LogiSwords looking to finish it off here on this payload map. 3-0. Clean sweep. Moldy Milkers, they probably want to lose in all likelihood. You want a good draft pick. Tanking. Alright, alright, alright. Oh, shoot. One opportunity to make it count here. Moldy Milkers, can they do something about their twisted fate? Here they come. Moldy Milkers versus LogiSwords. LogiSwords trying to finish the series off in a clean 3-0 fashion. The other side looking for some semblance of a fight. But man, it's ugly already. Let's see how long this spawn camp lasts. Just gonna be miserable on the other side of this though. Oh, word. What am I gonna fall here? So it looks like Moldy Milkers will eventually remove themselves from this spawn camp. Taking a little bit of time though. Risk's a very tough horse to get through it. And the health bar from that Sombra gonna go away. And she will eventually fall. So 2 tanks stand here for LogiSwords, but man, they're probably just gonna feed more ult charge over to this Moldy Milker squad. That is exactly what they'll do. So Moldy Milker is gonna start pushing this thing. Spawn camp only lasting a minute and 15 seconds. After that first successful fight. I thought it was going to get a little bit more ugly there, but it didn't. Alright, here we go. Moldy Milker's pushing this thing. They're going to try to get around this corner. LogiSwords looking for a re-engage. Here they come. Alright, here comes Zarya. She's going in very fast. Could result in a death here. Does result in an early death. Widowmaker looking to fall too. She goes down, popping that ultimate. A lot of bulk left here on the side of LogiSwords, but I don't think it's going to be enough against these 2 DPS and the Brig. So, Moldy Milker's able to push through here. They're probably going to get this first checkpoint, at least on circuit. Sombra probably going to go down here. She does look like she's stalling a little bit, but yeah, she's just going to lose her life for that. And that will be the first checkpoint headed over to the side of Moldy Milkers. So, Moldy Milkers putting a little bit of an attack together here. A little bit of an attack together here. Don't know how well they're going to do once the going gets tough, though, in this series. Zarya coming out low ground. She's going to get punished for this severely, so another feed by Zarya. Comes the Dragon Strike. Doesn't actually get much of anything. And it looks like eventually Moldy Milkers are going to push through this. Sombra going to fall here. So Moldy Milkers just, you know, slowly but surely pushing through circuit. Really going to be interesting to see how they do on this third checkpoint. This is obviously the hardest one to push on. Even in overbots. It's just such a long spawn advantage for the defending team. Zarya once again goes in early, gets herself killed. Huge from this Orisa, though, to turn this fight. Could just, oh, maybe not. Wow, Zarya living on literal scraps of HP. Looks like Reaper and Hanzo just gonna back out, maybe? Oh no, Reaper able to pick up that Orisa. Hanzo on the back end here, gonna be finding this Sombra if he can. Doesn't look like he's gonna be able to, though. Gonna push her off. She is still alive, though. LogiSwords are coming back here. Gets a little dangerous for Moldy Milkers. Can they stay alive? Get their team back in? Sombra is gonna eventually fall. And it looks like they are back. However, they do lose that Brig a little early. They are up 1, though. And it looks like Moldy Milkers are going to be able to do this. Just barely. Just barely. Going to be able to do that with the power of their triple DPS. They do need to push the payload in, though. What do they do? They are pushing in a little aggressive. Reaper eventually going to come back and put that thing in there, but giving up a little bit of time for that. 3 minutes and a half to get through this third point. I don't know if they're going to be able to get through this third checkpoint. It is a difficult slog. They do remove that Junker Queen. So they have a little bit of a spawn advantage too, so not too bad of a loss. However, Junkrat coming through here is a massive pickup for LogiSwords, a ginormous amount of damage. And okay, here comes Moldy Milker, so they're able to get some picks here to start this off. Junkrat will eventually go down, and here comes the push. Can they cash this thing in on Circuit Royale? If they can, they give themselves a chance to maybe win a map in this series. Huge bubble. Gonna protect that brig. Gonna result in Junker Queen losing her life here. Zarya massively charged on Moldy Milkers. Going to result in a quick cleanup fight here for Moldy Milkers. Can they keep pushing this thing in? They are so close. 2 minutes on the clock. They just need to keep pushing that payload. If they can get it in, they give themselves a chance at a map in this series and possibly more. If not, more than likely, I think the other squad is going to be able to complete this map at least once. They need a map completion if they want to win this, in my mind. Simbeam is massively charged, however, she's going to fall to that queen and the trap. So Moldy Milkers only have a couple more opportunities here. Unfortunately for them, they will not have access to that Hanzo ult, I don't think, because of the Zarya. Or the Reaper ult. 2 ults that cause a massive amount of damage to go on the other team. Okay, Zarya is going to fall here. Okay, Reaper actually able to pop his ult, so at least they have that. What a massive ult by Queen, by the way. Gonna result in a team fight win here. Single-handedly, essentially. And now there's only one more opportunity on the clock here for the side of Moldy Milkers. They need to push this thing in if they want any chance at this series. In my opinion, I think LogiSwords are going to be able to push it this far on their own attack. Reaper able to remove one. Comes Zarya v Zarya. Of course, neither of these characters can use their ult. Brig is going to go down. Oh, this is awful. Oh, this is bad, bad, bad news for Moldy Milkers here. They are just going to lose all their members as they try to push up. Zarya the last one left, but it's just too little too late, man. Yeah, it is over. A wonderful, wonderful try here by Moldy Milkers, but this is more than likely going to be a 3-0. I believe LogiSwords can push it that far with the one attack they are given. I believe if you wanted any chance of winning this, Moldy Milkers, you had to complete this map. You had to hope you had more time than them. And hope the overtime shenanigans favored you. However, I think this is just over. I think LogiSwords have more than enough time to get this thing all the way through. Here we go. Can Moldy Milkers stop LogiSwords at all to claim a single map in this series? Probably not. So LogiSwords will more than likely clinch their first seed berth by a whim, by one map. If Blazing Magi beat them 3-0 at the end of this week, not saying they will. That's far from certain. LogiSwords and Blazing Magi match up fairly decently from what I recall. Um, it will have only a 1 map difference in their standing score. They will have the same record. Oh wait, am I right about that? No, Blazing Magi. No, 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 no. I'm not right about that. They have the same record right now. If Blazing Magi still have a chance, because if they beat them, their map diff doesn't matter. Okay, wait, I'm wrong. This match actually has no impact on that. I'm such a fool. I am such a fool. Unless Blazing Magi somehow lose in their upcoming match against Microfish. Okay, I am very wrong. I'm sorry. Blazing Magi. I don't know what I've been saying. LogiSwords. This match actually has no impact. Blazing Magi and LogiSwords, whoever wins that will hold the #1 seed. Unless Blazing Magi lose to Microfish after this. So I guess there are technically still implications. So I'm technically right. But it requires Blazing Magi to lose in the next match. And even then, Blazing Magi losing at all in the next match would almost guarantee. Yeah, it would guarantee. It would guarantee that LogiSwords pretty much have the first seed anyways. So, yeah, never mind. This match actually had no impact. I am a fool. I am but a fool. I put false impact on this. Oh well. Anyways, here comes. Sorry. Looks like this match doesn't matter nearly as much for Blazing Magi because I just realized both teams are 6-2. So if either team loses, that's gonna have more impact than the map diff. Moldy Milker's gonna stump LogiSwords here on this first point. A little bit. It's actually a good spot to hold too, so this actually could get ugly for LogiSwords. They are going up top here. Interestingly enough, though, they have that Torb. Torb is a very strong pick. Usually. Alright, so eventually LogiSwords are going to push through this. Just slowly but surely making their way through circuit. I am but a fool. Sorry, both teams are 6-2, so the map differential actually doesn't really matter too much. Whoever wins between Blazing Magi and LogiSwords in this upcoming match between them after this one is more than likely going to have the first seed, depending on if Blazing Magi win against Microfish or not. That's when map differential could matter. If Blazing Magi lose to Microfish and then beat LogiSwords, they'd have the same record, so then map differential will matter. I think LogiSwords will win that map diff no matter what. If Blazing Magi win against LogiSwords and somehow lose to Microfish. But even then, I think they'd hold it without winning this 3-0. I think they could win this 3-1 or 3-2. More than likely. Anyways, sorry. Spiel. LogiSwords. Really, their next match matters more than this one. However, if they lose this one, then that would matter. That would put Blazing Magi in a very good spot. I'm going to be able to hold them up. Oh yeah, they don't spawn back here anymore. Duh. Gonna hold off LogiSwords for one more push here, so just a slow, methodical push from LogiSwords, like getting the job done. Slowly but surely. They should win this. Hanzo getting very... Well, actually, he's not getting low. Brig was the one getting low. But now he is. Hanzo will fall. Brig will fall after. And it looks like LogiSwords are going to be able to get this through here. Junkrat putting in some damage. And that will be it for Moldy Milkers. They will not they'll probably not have an opportunity to contest this thing at all. And we are headed towards a very succinct 3-0. Of course, Moldy Milkers put up a bit of a fight here on circuit. A little fight on Busan too. Just not quite enough for that squad to get a win. Zarya gonna go down here. Okay, they do actually get a touch. I'm surprised. Reaper gonna fall. Zarya very low on the outside looking in. This is going to be a cap point. And yeah, that's it. Alright, all they gotta do is get to this golden box, and that will be a 3-0 victory for LogiSwords. I believe they can do it. They got 2 minutes and a half. 2 minutes and 45, I guess. I apologize for the mix-up about the map score. I put way too much emphasis on Moldy Milkers winning a map here, when really it wouldn't have done anything for that. Basically, LogiSwords and Blazing Magi's match is the only one that matters as long as they both win their games here, their first games. So that last match will have implications for playoffs. However, Moldy Milker's taking a fight here. Sneaky fight win. Going to result in a little bit of a hold coming out here. 2 minutes on the clock. Both Zaryas were just like poking and prodding each other for a little bit there. Hanzo getting very, very low. Yeah, gonna trade out that Zarya. And Queen's gonna fall here. Looks like so far Moldy Milker's actually doing a good job of fending them off on this circuit. There's only a minute and a half on the clock here, so suddenly this gets a little bit scary for LogiSwords. Maybe LogiSwords will lose this map after all. Keep in mind, if the series is more important than a map, though, so map probably doesn't really matter too much. Moldy Milker's gonna fall here eventually, though. Yep, looks like they're eventually gonna get through this. Sim giving up some space. I don't know why. She's just gonna die anyways, right? Oh, no, she's gonna die anyways. This is an awful throw by that Sim. They are gonna get around the corner with this. Can they just win it off that fight win? 42 seconds on the clock. A win right here from Moldy Milkers could be good. However, they need to get a touch. Can Zarya get out here to touch before she is capsized on and deleted? Nope. She is gone. Not too much pressure here. That's just going to be it. So, LogiSwords get the job done. 3-0. Got a little bit sketchy at the end there, but they do manage to get the job done. That is it.